Antibiotic-associated diarrhea can last for weeks, and most doctors don't even warn you. If you're dealing with diarrhea from antibiotics, or if you want to avoid it before it starts, this video is going to show you what really causes it and how you can stop it. In this video, you'll discover why antibiotics cause diarrhea in the first place and why it's more common than you might realize. The best probiotics that can help prevent and calm antibiotic-associated diarrhea, foods and simple home remedies that can help you soothe your gut, what to avoid during antibiotics if you don't want to make the diarrhea worse, and one overlooked mistake that could drag out your symptoms for weeks. Now, while I am a microbiologist, I'm not a doctor. This video is for educational purposes and should not be considered medical advice. If you do need medical advice or you're not sure which probiotics are best for you, be sure to consult with your doctor. Antibiotic-associated diarrhea, or AAD, happens when antibiotics disrupt that delicate balance of bacteria inside your gut. AAD is typically defined as loose, watery stools that occur 3 or more times a day. AAD will affect approximately 1 in 5 people who take antibiotics to treat a bacterial infection. If you do develop any of these kinds of symptoms after starting antibiotics, be sure you let your doctor know because they may want to do some further testing. Now, here's how I like to think of AAD. I love flowers and gardening, so if you could imagine a beautiful flower garden just filled with thousands of different kinds of flowers, they're all beautiful. And those flowers, they'll crowd out any kind of weeds. And that's just like with AAD. That can be like a bomb coming in and hitting your flower garden. It's just going to take out the flowers and any weeds that were there. But now, since a lot of the flowers are gone, the weeds have room, they have nutrients, they have sunlight, and now there's a chance for those weeds to come in and just start overgrowing, and they'll overtake the flower garden. Now, the weeds that overgrow your flower garden are like unhealthy bacteria. So when those antibiotics come in, they allow unhealthy bacteria to grow, yeast to grow, and sometimes even C. difficile bacteria to grow, which then causes the diarrhea symptoms, the unpleasant symptoms of AAD. So AAD may start a few days into a course of antibiotics, but for some people it might be a week or even several weeks after you finish your course of antibiotics before AAD starts. But the gut damage is already there. Probiotics are one of the best things you can do for AAD, but not all probiotics are created equal when it comes to AAD, and some work much better than others. I really wish I knew about probiotics years ago. I spent about 4 years struggling from recurrent sinus infections. It was a staph infection, antibiotics over and over, all kinds of antibiotics. My doctor never mentioned the side effects of antibiotics, nor did they mention probiotics that could help me. Now, there's 3 standout probiotics when it comes to AAD, and the first one is a Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, or you might see it as an LGG strain. This probiotic reduces ADD, it helps prevent ADD, but it is not resistant to antibiotics, so if you are taking it with antibiotics, make sure you take it apart by at least 2 or 3 hours. And there's 2 other strains of probiotics that really stand out that are actually antibiotic resistant, meaning that the antibiotics won't affect them. The first is Saccharomyces boulardii, or you might hear it as SAC-B. Now, this is actually a yeast probiotic, so antibiotics only are effective against bacteria, so this will not be hurt by antibiotics. It helps prevent diarrhea, so you could take it when you start your antibiotics to help ward off any diarrhea. It also helps prevent C. difficile associated diarrhea, because sometimes C. diff can be the cause of the diarrhea, and it also helps prevent C. diff diarrhea. And one of my other favorite probiotics are the bacillus species, such as Bacillus clausii and Bacillus subtilis. Now, these are spore-forming probiotics, so they're not affected near as much by the antibiotics. And unlike popular lactobacillus or bifidobacteria type probiotics, they will actually survive the journey through the stomach into the intestine, and they'll arrive at 100% potency. These types of probiotics are known to improve diarrhea symptoms. They help prevent diarrhea. They reduce gut inflammation, and they help control the growth of unhealthy bacteria like those weeds in the flower garden. Now, probiotics are not a guarantee for AAD, but they are a serious game changer for a lot of folks. So when your gut is inflamed from AAD overgrowths, you also need more than just probiotics. You need some relief. Some natural ways to help ease the symptoms of diarrhea can include chamomile tea, as it will help soothe and calm an irritated digestive system. Peppermint tea can help calm spasms in the GI system, and it can also help reduce cramping. Another one of my favorites is ginger, either ginger tea, or you can take some raw ginger and make tea out of it. It's really good for helping soothe nausea. It can help with diarrhea, and it also has antibacterial effects and anti-inflammatory properties, so it'll just help also soothe those gut symptoms. And this one really helps me is having a heating pad just to lay over your tummy, and that can really put your muscles at ease and help relax your body. And last but not least, don't forget to drink water, especially if you're dehydrated, just to help your body stay hydrated. And while these remedies can really help your symptoms, there's other habits people have, especially around foods and supplements, that can make your AAD even worse. So when I was struggling with my recurring infections, my stomach was so upset. I had so much nausea and diarrhea. It took a lot of trial and error to figure out what helped and what didn't help. And I wish I would have had somebody to tell me, don't eat this and don't eat that, and make sure you do this. So here's some things to skip, at least for now, while you have the AAD. First off is sugary foods. That can be colas. They're going to be really acidic and they're going to be full of sugar. And all of those sugars will actually feed those unhealthy bacteria. And another one is alcohol. It will actually irritate your GI system, and it's also a simple sugar, so it can also feed unhealthy bacteria and yeast that can also overgrow. Also, raw vegetables or hard to digest vegetables, those can irritate your stomach and they can enhance your diarrhea as well. A couple other foods to watch out for are high-fat foods that will make diarrhea worse. And also any kind of hot, spicy food, anything that's really spicy, that's going to irritate your digestive system. Lastly, watch for taking too many supplements at once. If your system's already upset, you don't want to add a lot of extra burden to it. And two especially to watch out for would be magnesium supplements and vitamin C, as those typically help move things through your system faster. So try to stick to easy to digest meals like bone broths or steamed vegetables and whole foods as your system tolerates them. So when your gut is upset, the goal is to simplify things and give your body that space it needs to heal. Now, one mistake I see pretty often with AAD is that people stop their probiotics too early. Even if your diarrhea clears up after a few days, your gut may still be vulnerable. These bad bacteria don't always go away quietly. If you stop that probiotic too soon, you might have lingering symptoms, and sometimes that diarrhea can come back even weeks later. And that's why a lot of functional medicine doctors or natural health doctors will recommend taking probiotics for at least 2 to 4 weeks after you stop your antibiotics. That will help keep that AAD at bay and also will help with potential C. diff or other gut overgrowths. One of the most important things you can do for AAD is to rebuild your healthy gut flora. Just like that flower garden, planting all those flowers again, seeding those flowers, adding fertilizer, watering it. So the weeds, you have minimal weeds, they don't really have a chance to grow. And as I mentioned before, probiotics are an important way to rebuild your healthy gut flora. But most people aren't taking probiotics the right way, and they may even be taking them for too long. And in this next video, I'm going to show you exactly how long to take probiotics for, not just after antibiotics, but for long-term health.